Hello, my name's Katie Mednick, and I'm the founder of Alumah. Now, one of the most common questions I get is, why did you create Alumah? And I realized recently that I've been answering this question for the last several months with how I came up with the idea and never really getting to the true why. So I'd like to take a moment and just really answer that question as directly and honestly as I can. I'd like to answer this first with a story. It wasn't that long ago, a few years back, where I was at a major life crossroads. Maybe you've been there, I'm sure you have, we all have, or maybe you're there right now. Those moments where we know something's not right in our life and we're avoiding making a decision. Or we keep making the same decision that we should be making. It could be as simple as not having that glass of wine in the evening or reaching for soda instead of drinking water, but I'm talking about a major crossroads in my life. For me, that was the decision of leaving a nearly 24-year-long marriage. Now, I knew the moments I spoke these words out loud to my now ex-husband, I was going to put something into motion that I wasn't going to stop. And in order to make that decision, I had to find in myself a couple of things. First, the esteem in myself to trust my inner knowing, and to also come to the conclusion that my happiness is important. And I also had to find in myself faith that something bigger than me was at motion, and faith that when I listen to that inner voice of myself, it's going to work out for everybody involved. And they did. It took me 6 weeks to figure out where I was going to live, and I bounced from the cabin to I found a room from an elderly couple to stay in during the weekdays. And I saw my kids every day. They were old enough, they drove up to the cabin on the weekends, and when they were in school, because they were in high school, I would work from home. As soon as my husband left, I would go in, see them off to school, work from home, see them get home from school, spend a little time with them, and leave before he got back to work. You know, it worked out. Was it easy? No. I shifted the complete family dynamic. But I do believe I put us on a path of healing, and I had throughout the whole time an inner knowing. Even though I didn't know where I was going to live, I left all of my worldly possessions behind that day and never really went back to get them. Decades of birthday presents and crafts from the kids, decades of memories. I took just what I needed. I didn't know what was going to happen to my company or my employees, because a divorce certainly could threaten that, and my financial future. But it all worked out. And throughout it all, I had moments of grief, but I also could always find peace. And the ability to make that decision came from my daily spiritual practice. It's not always daily, to be honest. It came from working with spiritual directors and coaches and doing my inner work. And I believe that we are living in a time where we all are needed. Where the best of us is needed. The courageous version of us is needed. And in order to show up in the world in this way that's authentic and genuine, and to really connect with each other, we need to have that connection with ourselves. And so that is why I created Alumah. To help facilitate, to help create sacred space, to help remind us to come back to ourselves, to care for that inner voice, to listen to it, to nurture it. You know, they say teachers teach what they need to learn the most. Well, for me as an entrepreneur, I'm building what I need the most. My reason for Alumah is because I need that reminder. I need help creating that sacred space so I can go into the world and live the way I hope to. And just like I believed in that crossroads moment that making the decision by listening to my voice would be the most loving choice for all the people around me, when it comes to Alumah, I also believe that if I build what I need the most, certainly there's others out there who could benefit, and I might be building it for them as well. So thank you so much for being here. I hope that answers the question. I really am grateful for your time and your trust.